Hi, welcome to the Pints Polishing Podcast. I'm Marshall. That's Nick. You can find us at hypercleanstore.com or go to the HyperClean Specialist group on Facebook. Welcome back to another deep dive. We're deep diving into detail and we're deep diving into the number one complaint. Well, not only in detailing, but also in getting a car back from a detailer, right? Number one complaint. Let's all take a question mark. What do we think it is? Nick, go for it. What is the number one complaint throughout history of car care and of cleaning cars?
Did you clean my windows? That's always a kick in the giblets, huh? But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that's the number one thing. My entire career, you've worked in high production, low production. It doesn't matter. You're a DIYer that does it yourself. That is the number one thing you fight. If you do everything perfectly, and then you get that first sun shot through your windshield, driving directly in the sun, it's getting late. I'm sure this happens to you there in Tulsa. You're driving home at 4:30 at night, leaving work, hits the windshield, and you go, whoa, what's going on? Yep, that's the number one complaint, and it always has been, and hopefully after today, it won't be that way for guys anymore.
Yeah, always, right? Like, didn't matter if it was team members that you were teaching, didn't matter if it was customers or your own self, right? Throughout history of detailing and of cleaning cars, absolutely, even myself, I know I've struggled. I've had times where I've had people, actually customers, educate me, right?
Oh, yeah. If it gets bad enough, everybody's piping off. Huh?
They offer their tips, right? You can remember, we talked about it before, is newspaper, right? Newspaper always seemed to be that go-to back in the day, right? Like, if you're struggling with glass, like, hey man, get yourself some newspaper. Newspaper's going to solve all your problems. Like, that was what
I started. That's how I started.
Yeah, newspaper, huh? And then terry towels got into it, and then now that we're at microfiber towels. But let's go. What do you think the biggest struggles are? Like, what has been the struggle with glass cleaning? Why is glass cleaning such a massive problem?
Honestly, one of the things that I didn't know till a couple years ago when we started working on our formula, when we started getting to the bottom of what we thought the problem was. Okay, we knew there was a problem. We'd been detailing both over 20 years at that point. When we undertook this project from a chemistry standpoint, the one thing I didn't realize, the chemistry was like 100 years old. And so everybody was going off this 100-year-old, really heavy ammonia, really heavy alcohol-based glass cleaning system. Well, glass has changed a lot, number one. Number two, most of the time when you get to glass cleaning in a car, the windows, interior and exterior-wise, should already be pretty clean. There's the other secret, that you don't need this hyper-aggressive cleaner to get perfectly clean glass. And I think once we started to uncover that, we started to realize that was the biggest issue, is you were just seeing a lot of the smearing around because there was too much active cleaning ingredient and nothing for it to clean.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm so glad you mentioned ammonia. You almost forget about that word. Today you don't really have ammonia in glass cleaner, but for a while we nonstop had ammonia.
And I think you'd be surprised which ones do. I think there's still ones that are older formulas that companies have been using for a very long time that are just what they are, right? And they're using some type of ammonia type cleaner, may not be directly ammonia, but something of a descendant of ammonia or a really harsh alcohol mix. And it all seems like that should work, but it leads to a whole host of problems when there isn't a bunch of grime to clean. Because again, most of the time, exterior and interior, you've given everything a wipe and a cleaning with some soap or an interior cleaner or whatever. By the time you just want to get the little bit extra off of there to leave a perfect finish.
Mm-hmm. That perfect finish is what seems to be what do you call it? Holy Grail? That thing you're always trying to achieve, but it's almost like it's the carrot in front of the tortoise. Forever, so long, it was always my struggle. It was so many people's struggle of cleaning glass. I think, I think of it as fighting. It
Yeah.
really does become, you get towards the end of the car, right? You've done, whether you're detailed it or just an express type cleaning, and you got to finish off with glass. Either way, you get to the end of the car, most people go, oh, now there's glass. Like, man, I've done everything else, and it's like, wow. Now I get to the glass, and I'm like, And it's a fight. It's a fight mentally. And that mental fight starts because we fight the glass cleaner on the glass. You could, whatever you pair it with, just seemed to be for so many years, you always fought the towel when you're rubbing it on the glass.
Yeah. This comes down to just improper formulation for what we needed it to do. Either A, you had too much cleaner and the cleaner's getting pushed around, smeared around, and you've done this, Marty, where it seems like you're now on your fifth towel and you're still trying to get that residue off. But what you're fighting is that cleaner's just kind of set up in the pores of the glass, and it's, now you got to go back and, okay, well, now I got to use straight alcohol, and then I got to start over because now there's all this lint. So you look at it, it is a real combination to find. And once you find a combination, which is sort of what we did with our system, you just are just going to have it forever.
Yeah.
Because once you get perfect glass, you're not going to ever go back and try something new because it's just such a headache to deal with.
I think there was also the pairing problem. I think there was a problem, like I mentioned, so many people would say, hey, use this, right? Use that. And it didn't matter what, somebody always had another towel. They always had some other alternative that was the answer than changing the glass cleaner, right? Yep. The pairing that we always tried to do, you always tried to pair something with the glass cleaner. Sometimes it worked, but there's a lot of times it didn't work. But that's the other side of it though, right? You got to pair with something that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, what we have found is if you don't want to leave lint behind, it's going to be the combination of the perfect glass towel and our glass cleaner, right? And the reason is there's no chance that the perfect glass towel can even leave lint because of the type of weave it has, where a lot of guys will say, well, waffle weave doesn't leave lint. Well, have you ever washed a waffle weave like 2 or 3 times and start to see it pill up and all of a sudden there's some more lint there? It's a lint-based kind of towel. Where first time you ever pick up our perfect glass towel, you'll say, okay, has some bite to it, doesn't have anything that's going to start to lint up, but it has good microfiber qualities. It has the soaking up ability. It has the finish out ability. And so you're right. You can't look at one side of the equation or the other. That was the mistake my whole career. Well, if newspaper stops working, I mean, you remember this, Huck towels and baby diapers and this and that was going to fit. If you had this foam glass cleaner, then you use this thing. It was always looking at one side of the equation, not both sides of the equation. And you're not going to fix the side of the equation glass cleaner wise if you keep trying to use the same glass cleaner for one simple reason. If it has too much cleaner in it, you're never going to find the perfect towel to put with it. It's not going to happen.
And too much harsh, in a sense, cleaner. Because
exactly.
I wouldn't say that we subtracted really any cleaner. It was more like we added. It was almost like there became a balance of something else that was missing. So not only do you need to pair with the perfect glass towel, then there is ultimately what some are saying is also the perfect glass cleaner. Like, how many people have began, once they started using our glass cleaner, began talking about, wow, like, what an experience.
I was at the Rupes.
Oh my.
That's exactly what happened. Everybody's like, oh, I magically got my hands on your glass cleaner. What'd you guys do? I heard it in multiple booths where guys just ran up on some. Hey, what'd you guys do to this formula? It's a combination. I would say that we reduced the alcohol content compared to what's on the market. Alcohol does not necessarily mean a good thing. Do you need some alcohol in there? Yes, you do. You need some of that, what you would call very clean cleaning ability, right? Alcohol is a very clean cleaner. Okay, fine. But you don't overdo that, which 99% of glass cleaners overdo. Now you're in trouble. Then when you kind of get that balance right, you can add a little bit of lubrication through modern technology called silica. Okay. Now, what you see a lot when people now are starting to jump on this ceramic glass cleaner, the reason guys are still getting all the smearing is because, as you and I know, a lot of things labeled ceramic have a very milky texture to them in the mixture, and it's going to smear all over your window. When you use pure silica, you don't have that smearing effect. And so that's what we found in 2 years of developing this product, because we didn't need to rush a glass cleaner out to market. Everybody could buy some glass cleaner somewhere. What we needed to do is say, let's solve a problem. I don't see a lot of people solving the problem in glass cleaner. I saw a few at the SEMA show that just ended a week ago. I used them and I still felt that smear. And I'm like, dude, once that smear happens, all you're doing is giving me more work. So as soon as I feel any type of smearing around the surface, I already know that glass cleaner is more old age rather than more new age.
There's a word we like to say that revolves around the hyperCLEAN glass cleaner. And it's, some people are like, hey, take the L. Absolutely. I'm going to take the big L on this. And that word is lubrication, right? I'm going to take it. Lubrication for us is the uniqueness of hyperCLEAN glass cleaner. It is that balance that you talked about. It is that, differentiator. It is that unique thing that you and I found. It is that thing that, since we fought the market's glass cleaner, we go, hey, let's stop fighting. Let's change it.
Yeah, and that's what we did. And where this comes for me is I always hated using like a 50-50 alcohol blend, because I could hear my towel dragging on the window. As soon as I heard my towel dragging on the window, I'm like, yeah, this may work, but I'm going to look out this window and it's going to be just caked in lint.
And literally here. Some people are like, wait, here? How do you hear
it? You can hear it. You can hear
it.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of us wear, earphones now when we're detailing, or, we're listening to music too loud or whatever we're doing. Take your AirPods out, take your earbuds out. If you're using the wrong glass cleaner, you're gonna see hear two things. You'll hear it really wipe really fast because you're just pushing cleaner around, and then you got a smearing problem, or you're gonna hear it almost like tacky skip across the glass, and you'll hear the towel dragging, and that only means one thing, and it's lint. And I cannot stand, you get into a beautiful car, you get done detailing a Bentley or a Ferrari, and you look out that front windshield and all you have is those long strands of lint because your towel dragged across. You know what I'm talking about? Not little balls, but the ones that are like, those strands from your towel, and you're like, Jesus. I mean, there were times it got so bad, I would go back with a razor blade, to get that stuff off. I mean, that was a trick that I was taught years and years ago, but that's as bad as it got in the height of all of this. I still think a lot of guys are using glass cleaners that are a big problem. It is what it is. I don't think you have to live that way anymore.
And it literally is now when I get to, as I said a second ago, before we were hopping on, right? Like getting finished up with the car and I get to that moment, I'm kind of like, all good now. I can kind of enjoy the last part of the detail instead of being in that fight mode. I'm in that flight mode. I'm sort of like more relaxed at the end of it, right? Like it's fun now. Let's think about that for a second. Like I can now rest easy, right? Like I got a little bit of peace of mind towards the end of the detail when I should be, right? I should have fought everything if I'm fighting dirt or fighting paint when I'm polishing, whatever. I get to this moment, I should have a peace of mind. I should rest easy. So let's go over the process then of using hyperCLEAN glass cleaner paired with the hyperCLEAN perfect glass towel.
Okay. I think this is a great time to say this. You should never be cleaning excessively dirty glass at the end of your detail. So this is most likely going to happen on interior windows. Okay. My personal, your dog's been licking the back window. You've all seen that, build up on the back of your window when your dog rides with you. And when you clean the interior, in my opinion, just take some Revive, spray it on the window, wipe that down, make your life a little easier. Okay. So first things first, don't try to ask too much of anyone's glass cleaner. That's number one. The next easiest way that I do it, do not overuse glass cleaner. One spray
Yeah.
out of a hyperCLEAN 32 or a hyperCLEAN 16, one trigger pull on the outside of a window. This will be different on a windshield. Understand, maybe 2 to 3 per side, 4 on big windshields per side. But you're doing a driver door on the outside. It's one spray right in the middle. That's what you do. That's
All right,
enough
so
glass cleaner.
let me interject here, because you'll know this, and the reason why you said it is because you've trained people, right? It's because you've taught people how to clean glass.
Yep.
And the number one thing then, when somebody goes to clean, what causes so many mistakes is this moment here. We grab the bottle and we just start spraying. Like,
Oh, yeah.
hey, I'm going to clean glass. I want to make sure I got cleaner on all, and that there's like 10 sprays, or they'll get really, really close.
Yeah.
And they won't be about, 6-10 inches away. They'll be about 2 inches. So then that spray that they hit only lands on one certain part of the glass, and that's
be on
overly
a big
saturated.
fan. Be on a big fan on your nozzle. We have 2 settings on our 16. You can go ahead and put the big fan on our 32s. Nice mist is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You just want a mist on the window. One pull, I promise it's enough. Do it right in the middle of the window, and guess what? It'll fan out. You'll have cleaner kind of everywhere you need it. I put my towel in the middle of the window. I go to the top right corner, all the way to the bottom left corner, down the trim line, back up, the pillar to the right corner, and then I just color in the box, flip the towel over, buff it the same way, call her a day. That's as easy as it gets. And the purpose of doing the corners is because when you actually have clean windows, if you miss those corners, you're going to get a phone call, and they're going to go, did you not clean my windows? Then you're going to get pissed when you see it and you go, oh, I just didn't go all the way up into the corners and on the edges, all those kinds of things. Again, also don't forget, it's a great time when you're cleaning windows to roll that window down a little bit, get that top part of the window. That's another part of the process that we could talk about maybe on a video sometimes that guys miss, is there's a lot of dirt and grime going up into that trim piece. Go ahead and lower the window, get that top edge, call it day. You'll be a lot happier. But you're right. Learn how to spray it. I promise. It'll make your life easier. Back up a little bit, relax, spray it into the middle of the window with a fine mist. It'll kind of get everywhere on the glass. It'll be ready for you to just kind of throw your towel right there in the middle of the window, go up to the right corner, down, color the box in. After that, you're ready to go.
You're right. Those corners, though. The corners get to be a little tricky. If you do miss the corners, we had a car in earlier. The customer showed up while I was doing the glass, right? And this is a guy that I've talked about for many years. He's a guy that's actually called me back to come back to fix something because there was a little smear. He was that picky, right? He always needed perfectly clear glass.
Yeah.
Today,
I'm in the same boat as him, by the way.
Agreed. And today, when he picks it up and he drives off, he calls me back. Could not believe how awesome everything looked. And a big part of that was, I know it was glass, because he is so particular of the way you look out of windshield. And you're right. It made me also that way. If I go on a trip, if I go anywhere, I've got to be able to look out and see clear. I can't have that fog, and I can't look over and see those little corners that might have been missed. No way.
And here's the thing. I actually had this happen. I was goofing off. We went on a road trip to San Diego. I think I shared it on the podcast. And that whole trip down there, I saw a piece of the interior of the glass that I missed. And it was like, it kind of ruined my trip. Like, I was just pissed at myself. I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. I know everybody listening understands that. I was just like, and she's like, why do you let it bother you? I'm like, It doesn't bother me that I missed it. It bothers me that I'm having to look at it. So then, you know, that's the funny thing about picky customers. They make you picky. And then you're picky on your car. And then you're making your family miserable. It's like I've always told people, when I see people shut the door without the door handle, dude, it's like it just could set me off. And glass is the same way, because it's such a simple thing. You know how to do it. Everyone listening knows that uses our glass cleaner. It's fixed for you. Okay. Now it's about, did you miss a corner? Did you not wipe an area? Did you kind of get lazy for a second? And then now it kind of gets you mad on a different level.
But this is the cool part, right? You're right. The third element is the human aspect.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I almost wonder if we should have, though, used the name cheat code instead of glass cleaner. Like, it really could be the name of our glass cleaning. You need help. You need a cheat code. We all do, right? Human element is tough. So you need a cheat code? Definitely. Go grab some hyperCLEAN glass cleaner, pair it with the hyperCLEAN glass towel, and it literally will be the way that you can achieve the views that you desire. Thanks so much. Another great deep dive into glass cleaning. See y'all next time. Thanks, Nick.
See you guys.